Yeah, so what I want to say is I'm glad that I'm doing this review kind of after the other reviews have come out for it, because what a lot of people have been saying is like it feels slow, it feels old, which of course it does. It's an old game, but this is like this is what the genre was before like Stardew Valley happened, and Stardew Valley kind of convinced people that that's how these games should be, which is not my preferable way to play these types of games.
Hmm.
Um, and I like the more slow, methodical feeling that this game has, which is like it basically it takes like the concept of like time and like actually makes you experience like what time is like experiencing a person's life over 30 years type of thing. It's not like rushing you to get from like point A to point B. You're not rushing through to like do everything you can in one day, because you can't, because your stamina is so restricted. Like you have to be smart with how you
Mhm.
plan your things with your farming and with your animals and with your girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever you're going to do. And it's like Stardew Valley allows you to do all those, like you can do everything you want in a day in that game and still have time left over. In this game, it's like you farm and then it's like 5 o'clock. Like, okay, like I okay, cool. Like I have to talk to that girl tomorrow instead, like that kind of thing. And it does a really good job of simulating time and how like just life kind of can pass by you, like things are okay, you're just kind of living your life on a farm, and then like you walk outside one day and your guy has gray hair. You're like, okay, you age, people in the town age and move away, and people die, people like your animals die, you're like these things, they're living and breathing people. And it's really interesting how Stardew Valley and games inspired by it have kind of taken that away. There's no like I don't want to say edge, but there's no like risk. Like there's
Mm.
nothing like what's going to happen. Like I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna go talk to them, and there might be an event that happens, but you might not. But in like this game, like you might wake up and your neighbor could be dead. Like that's just kind of the thing that happens. Like
Dark.
it's super dark. There's set deaths in the story. There's like an overarching story, and it really hammers in like you're making a wonderful life. Like that's the whole thing. It's like every character that you meet is trying to make the best they can of their life. They're moving here to like better themselves or to meet someone or to like get away from the city or to have kids. They're just trying to make life better. They're trying to just live in peace. And that's just like the core concept of it. But the
Mhm.
the huge concept is literally like life. It's so slow and things are so normal for a long period of time, and then something happens, like, and that's what it does really well. Like you'll have a kid, you'll play a couple years, and then your kid grows up, and your kid is influenced by people in your life, who your friends are, who your wife is or your husband is, and they'll learn certain skills, and then eventually they leave, and like your
Mm.
kid's gone, and it's just you on your farm with gray hair, and you're like all by yourself, and then eventually you die, and it's like, and then the game unlocks the new game plus mode called
Oh
heaven
boy.
mode. It's called heaven mode, where you just like you just can keep farming, but really it's like in the actual story you just pass away. Like it's just kind of, it's just it's really
So
dark, and
it,
that's why I
it's so,
love it.
I mean, it seems like it's the theme of the game is right there in the title. It's about life. It's about a life. It's not like an Animal Crossing. It's not really Stardew Valley. It's
No.
it's about you hear that cliche, a life well lived, right? That's
Yeah,
people are like,
that's
oh, it's a
exactly.
life well. And this
Yeah.
game seems like, from what you're telling me, it seems like that's what this is about. This is about that journey.
Yep.
Like your kid
See,
grows
look,
up, they
she grows
leave you.
up.
It's
No,
everything
and
you
then you got
experienced in
gray
that
gray
life. Yeah.
hair, and it's like, yeah, it's a really special game because of that. Because you live 30 years, and like each year is
Hmm.
40 days. So you have
Oh
there's
boy,
ten
things do get
10.
dark there.
Yeah, there's 10 days in a season, and then you keep
Okay.
going, and it's like, yeah, and like people in these reviews I've been reading, like they're like, yeah, it's slow, and it's like and it's plotting. It's like, yeah, like that's what these games used to be. Like Stardew Valley has
Sure.
convinced us that these games are supposed to be like you can do everything, everything's happy. Like let's go. Like I'm just glad that this is here, even
Yeah.
as like even if it's just for me, like as like a fan. Um, but yeah, I mean that's just without me even talking about what like the changes they so much
Mhm.
quality of life. Things are easier to play. It's easier to control. Characters got updated. You might not like them if you're a fan. I don't really care. They made some people who are ugly sexy so you could date them. They made a girl who was 16, 18 so you could date her. Like
Mm.
that's good
Okay.
changes overall. And I mean, yeah, it's really cool. My favorite character is this girl named Molly. Her name used to be Muffy in the original, but her name is Molly now.
Mm.
She is a 30-year-old barista, and she is like really sad with her life because she was like, I'm
Mm.
30 and I live in this small town and nobody wants me. Like, what's wrong with me?
Mm.
Um, and she's the one I always marry because like I feel bad for her, but one, like she's older and I like
Sure.
that. So I just like, yeah, there's just every character has that character tick. It's like, oh, they're kind of there's something here. Like she's 30, she's like, yeah, I want to have kids before the time runs out. Like I'm about to like go like okay, she wants kids. There's another girl
Mhm.
named Nami who is just kind of like wandering and like she doesn't know what she wants in life. And if you date her, she'll eventually like want to be on the farm and like find love in the farm. But if you don't, she'll fall in love with another guy in the town and like they'll have their own thing. Like all these other characters that you could date are start to date each other as well. So it's like it's a living like thing, which is cool. And their kids and your kids can be friends and yeah, it's something.
Mhm.
These other farming simulator games don't do this where you can play through a whole period of someone's life and kids grow up and kids have friends and everything. But yeah, it's if you want to see what the olden days were like, then
The
definitely play it.
olden days.
But yeah, it's great. Maybe like 200 hours if you want to if you want to play through
Wow.
it.
Good lord. I
But
mean,
yeah,
I
it's good.
guess. That's
But yeah,
awesome.
that game's amazing.
Sweet.